Hey, what's up everybody? Ed the Pond Professor here. We are just outside of Atlanta, Georgia, Greg's Turtle Haven, and it is a good day because the equipment arrived before we did. So I like to see that because that's the first thing that we're gonna need today to start excavation. So we have an incredible project that's gonna be starting out. I see Greg and John over here behind us. Let's go take a walk. We're gonna meet up with them and then we're gonna start laying out this water feature.
When they ask what I did for the pond, I'll be like, oh no, I was the spray paint guy. Time to hit the gym. This is my turtle haven. This is what I created for turtles in need.
How you feel?
I'm stoked. I got a big pallet of plastic stuff.
Let me introduce you to our team. We have Trevor. He is coming out of our tech department out of Chicago. And then we have the man right here, Greg. So he is the founder of Greg's Turtle Haven. We had an incredible time out here, well, just about a year ago, right?
Yeah,
it was last October, where we did an incredible expedition, going off, looking for animals. And then you did the tour here, which we actually laid out the water feature at that time. So I am looking forward to kind of rehashing that. We'll kind of go through, kind of tweak out our designs. Can't miss out on John over here as well. So he is the other part of the team. John with Universal Aquatics. He is one of our main guys down here in the Atlanta market, and you probably recognize his face because he had his hands all over the shack project. He helped to coordinate basically everything, so we were able to pull that project off. We have about a day and a half of prep work to do, so we're gonna walk in back, recap on what we designed last year. I want to get excavation going, and then later on today we have all of our pond equipment, the liner, the pumps, the filters, all the components that we need to pull this project off. And then we have a bunch of CACs and contractors coming in from around the country to learn step by step actually how to design and build a feature like this. We have some incredible little things that we're going to be doing here, so let's take a walk in back.
Ever since I was a little kid, I would ride around in the car with my dad, and he would always point out, you know, little box turtles going across the road, and I always kind of saw them at a distance, and I was always so curious about them. Florida is like a reptile lover's paradise. One of the first animals I ever saw when I moved down there was a box turtle crossing the road, and I remember bringing it home and just being in awe. I was looking at just every aspect of that animal, totally obsessed, and I think I hung on to it overnight and let it go the next day, and just watching it kind of walk off and disappear into the underbrush. There was something about them that just like kind of spoke to me. They became just instantly my favorite animals and one of my favorite things to kind of stay up late at night thinking about and obsessing about. I would go out with field guides, and me and my brother would go out and we would just see what we could find, and you know, finding turtles was always my favorite part. Started going around and finding turtles in their habitats and getting in the water and catching them and identifying them with field guides and just learning, you know, and all of that before I was even 10 years old. So it kind of created me into kind of being this crazy turtle nerd, but that's who I am, and I accept it now. And as I've gotten older, I've learned that turtles are now the most endangered group of vertebrates on the planet. They're being poached, they're being eaten, they're losing habitats. The best thing we can do is they need our help. One of the best things I can do is help educate everybody. You know, anybody watching this, you know, it's my mission to reach out and spread the good word about turtles. And if I throw a handful of something at the wall and it sticks and you remember it, I've done my job. That's my mission. This is my turtle haven. This is what I created for turtles in need. Let me show you a little bit about what I've done here, and I hope you like it.
All right, Greg, let's take a walk around this. John and I just started laying stuff out. Now this is going off of what we discussed last year, kind of irregular shape. We want to have very naturalistic. So we're going to start all the way down here. So this is where the pump intake will be. We're going to have our piping going all the way up to the top. I remember your concern with the animals going into a skimmer or having a pump down in the bottom of the pond. So we have this intake bay, which is going to use a bunch of aqua blocks. We'll have kind of like a false bottom. We'll lay a river rock through the aqua blocks, through the pump vault before it gets to the pump. So I think we have lots of barriers, you know, to keep your animals safe. So I know you wanted to mimic a riverine type of a system. Here we're gonna have maybe 8 to 12 inches of water in it. If you want to get some logs and that type of stuff, we can play around with all different types of things inside of here. This little section right in between, we're going to narrow this down. We kind of have this hourglass shape right in here. I want to accentuate it, so we'll come in here with some more big boulders, and that's really to pick up the velocity of the water. So by having the pump over on this side, it's going to be drawing water through that false bottom like I was talking about. So the narrower we make this, the more velocity we have coming through. Another thing that we thought about was maybe like a little beach area over here. So we're going to have all of our water coming in from the waterfall over on this side. This will be the deeper section of the pond, but wanted to have a little backwater bay. What are your thoughts? Are we missing something?
I mean, so far it seems like a really good like natural habitat. You've got like kind of all the different elements. No riverine system is going to be the same all the way down. You know, it's not a pipe. Swifter areas, slower areas, shallow, deeper. Different turtles, different animals inhabit all of those different areas. I like the idea of having a beach, and that gives me something I can add on to later, where maybe I bring in some sand and turn it into an actual nesting beach.
Cool. We'll mark out this current shape. We'll spray paint it out. You know, we'll wait for the rocks to show up tomorrow. We'll be able to play around with them. We'll be able to see what we have to work with, and then we could really create something really cool and interesting in that upper section.
I'm excited.
Let's start painting.
When they ask what I did for the pond, I'll be like, oh no, it's the spray paint guy. I heard the truck is here. We're gonna go see what this guy has on the truck. I think it's a bunch of goodies for the pond. I think the liner's on there. This is the part where it gets real.
We got our pond products. We got liner, we got pumps, we got filters, we got aqua blocks, snorkels, centipedes, piping, lighting, everything you need to build a pond other than the rock.
How do you feel?
Stoked. I got a big pallet of plastic stuff.
Just ready to start excavation. Oh, we got sidetracked. Greg has got this incredible animal here, alligator snapping turtle. Tell us a little bit about what happened and how you found him.
You know, in the state of Georgia, alligator snapping turtles are protected, and they tend to come into conflict with people fishing. I had come across him in a place that I go a lot. He had been shot in the head, so somebody had been fishing, and for whatever reason, they decided that it was easier to shoot him in the head than to take the hook out. And so he had had a massive injury, and through having, you know, permits with the state DNR, I was able to rehabilitate this turtle. I had created a natural habitat very similar to what Aquascape does. Being in that natural habitat has caused this injury just heal so much faster. So he makes a great animal ambassador. I take him with me to reptile shows, schools, shops, anywhere that I'm doing a little in-person outreach.
Glad there are people like you around that can take care of these animals, know how to care for them, as well as to create the right habitat, which is why we're here today. So with that being said, we got a lot of work to do, so we're gonna shift gears over here. We're gonna let Greg put this guy back, and we're gonna start excavation.
I wanted to help Ed out and help myself out and help the turtles out, so I had the idea of like, dude, let's go to one of my favorite places, place that I've come to many times when I need, you know, maybe some cool looking natural rocks or some natural driftwood, different little elements that I like when I put my ponds together. So I brought you guys down to one of my favorite places.
Oh dude, this is awesome. This is the exact type of place that I love as well. All types of cool little things, flipping over rocks, looking for things that are underneath.
It's gonna make it kind of tie in with the other things that I've done myself, and it's gonna go into this big water feature that's just gonna be awesome. So I'm pretty psyched.
Nice.
Got a piece of driftwood right here. This should work for at least one part of the pond if it stays together. Only cost me my back.
So I can see this kind of going down into the water, this section here, and then all those branches kind of splaying out up into the land area. So it'd be a nice area for turtles to kind of walk up, a little basking. It does have a lot of moss and stuff growing on it. Came from a wooded location, but once it starts getting damp, you know, down here, I think all that moss is going to continue to take off because half of it will be soaking in water. So what we want to do is just kind of position this in the right location. I think it should work great for us. Have arrived. It's always good to see some beautiful stones showing up. Because we didn't see these rocks, we kind of walked through with the supplier telling them what we wanted, but I'm always a little bit kind of have that little nervous feeling. I'm like, all right, are they actually going to be the stone that we want? And they are. So these look beautiful. We got some incredible sandstone to work with. I hope it's what you're looking for, you know, to kind of mimic that Flint Creek type of a look. But we got some great pieces in here, lots of nice flat blocky pieces, because our goal with this is a series of cascading pools coming together, and this type of stone is going to lend itself perfectly to that. I think we got a good mixture of stuff to work with. It's got to get it unloaded, and then we'll start figuring out where we need to put everything in back. Again, this is our whole goal with this event, is to try to get all this work done before all the other visitors arrive tomorrow. And we got our work cut out for us right here today.
Time to hit the gym.
This is the old-fashioned shell game. We're just shuffling all the little pieces around so we can make it work. Chaos in the morning, right out of the gate. Boulder showed up. Skid steer was on its way, but I guess there was a big accident on the road, so I kind of backed things up. Unloading the skid steer to unload the truck. We got a hydraulic leak, so the guy just showed up to fix the hydraulic leak, and then we got the gravel showing up as well. Again, this is a residential neighborhood, so we got all this stuff happening. Kids are coming out to watch. Chaos as usual, but hey, gotta love it. Always good with the first rock. That is going to set the stage for everything. We just finished backfilling the river rock around the perimeter of the aqua blocks. Remember, that's going to put the aqua blocks under compression. These things get stronger when you hold them all in place. It's not going to shift around, or it's not going to move on us. The other thing that we're going to be doing tomorrow is we're going to come in with more of the bigger river rock, 3-inch to 5-inch type stuff, to put a layer over the top of that. This is our pump vault. So what we're going to do with that, we will end up disguising all of that. I want to get in some of the key rocks right on this corner just to stabilize this. This was kind of a funky little spot for us. I also want to get a couple big rocks set over in here. Once that's done, I think everything else in the pond will stay until tomorrow. So we're going to take this first rock right here. It's going to go right down here on the bottom. We're going to see what that looks like, and then we're going to start working our way up and out of the bottom of the pond. All right, Greg, I got a question for you. So we are working down in this section, trying to make that river bottom for you. I want to have different elevations. What are your thoughts if I came in here with another rock, maybe not quite that thick, but a little bit lower down in here, so it kind of creates a deep pocket right where you're at. It'll rise up, so it'll be deep water, kind of shallow, and then I'm thinking right in between here and here, it'll get deep again, pop up, and then drop down, so it's kind of...
No, that correlates with a lot of the areas that I like to go to.
Okay.
They have these big flat slabs.
Oh, cool.
Just kind of randomly scattered across the bottom.
Yep.
You do get like different elevations as you move across the bottom of the creek. Everything's not perfect. It's very haphazard. Haphazard is natural. Yeah, having like a smooth flat slab or something here.
Yeah, a little gravel bed down below in between, and then pop up again and then down.
And it'll create interesting little flows with
totally
water and stuff.
I also want to talk to you about this little beach area.
So my thought would be it goes gentle and to a point. So whether that's held with like a rock
or a log,
or maybe a log. Like my vision of what I like is a lot of natural obstructions, a lot of little nooks and crannies.
We created this kind of a pocket over in here. Do you think we need something more going across this to make it deeper?
I like rocks, but I also like wood, so I'm wondering if it was possible to maybe have something come like
that'd be pretty cool,
like this. And so you also have like maybe a basking log or something that tapers here. This gives them access to the top of this rock, also gives them something to kind of go around and get up in here. The idea of the fish and the crayfish and having all these little places to get into,
so
and
awesome.
Places for everything to exist, so I'm very happy.
We had a really productive day today. We got our intake bay in, which was one of the critical things that I wanted to get done, and that was because this kind of anchors the entire pond. We had to get this thing taken care of because it was generating all of our soil. I left this open because this is a training project. So we have contractors coming in from around the United States to learn step by step how to do this. So I wanted to get some of the infrastructure in, but leave it open and exposed so they could actually see it. We don't have enough physical time to actually for them to do everything, so we took our time the past 2 days out here digging, excavating, putting the liner in, getting some of these outcroppings in place, just setting the stage for everything, making it easier.
I feel like I'm like a spectator, something that's beyond like the scope of what I know. So I found a nice high spot to kind of watch everything and take it all in. I'm super stoked. I'm super grateful, super thankful. Big thanks to Aquascape, Greg, Ed, everybody that made this happen. And this is basically gonna be kind of like a dream come true for me and my animals. Kind of living in the moment. Right now I'm just kind of taking a moment to kind of smell the roses and appreciate it. So super psyched. Thank you guys.